morning, everyone. Welcome to thegolfdirector.com. It's George Honeycutt with Hugh Roy III. Good morning, Hugh.
Good morning, Mr. George.
And in the house today, Mr. Jimmy Biggs, head golf professional at Crow Creek. Hello, Jimmy.
Hey, George, Hugh.
It's good to have Biggsy here.
Jimmy.
He is one of our buds.
Folks, I apologize. This could get very interesting today.
It's going to get interesting, I can promise you.
Oh, it's
You've
going to be a
never
good
seen
one.
this much hair product in one room.
Oh, me. I can bring out some more if you'd like. I got my cosmetic bag sitting right behind me here.
Oh, Lord.
My makeup artist didn't come in today to get us ready for TV, so I'm a little upset about that. But you're looking dapper today, bud.
I'm just trying to hang in with you guys, you know.
You look like a professional golfer.
Yeah, well, I actually hit balls for 2 hours yesterday.
Did you
so
really?
You'd be pretty pleased with me, yes.
Well, congratulations, bud. I'm glad you got out and got some practice in.
Got it in, got them all airborne, so it was good.
I actually got to play 9 holes with Mr. Biggs yesterday.
Did you? Y'all went out and played?
He's striping it.
We did.
He's striping it.
Always
I
hits
striped it for
good.
6 holes anyway.
And this is for Jack Dill, or Stumpy as I call him.
Yeah.
Yes, little Jack, they are rolling 10. So
At least.
at least 10. I have to admit, we had a guest out there yesterday with us, and he goes, George, I've been hearing you talk about Crow Creek for a week or so on the air, and he goes, without a doubt, the fairways are absolutely gorgeous and the greens are phenomenal. So, again, hats off to Joe and the crew and everybody out there at Crow Creek.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal day. Okay, of course, we're going to do a little bit of modified show today. We normally start with the round table.
Yeah.
But however, today we're going to kind of take the round table and coverage of the majors, and we're going to roll it into one. And I am very, very pleased to announce you, we talked about this yesterday, but we have a new marketing partner that's going to be the title sponsor for coverage of the majors. And the result of this agreement is that we are going to broadcast 4 days live at Wild Wing Cafe at Barefoot Landing.
Well, that's going to make Abigail McKenzie Royer very, very happy. That's her favorite place to go eat. So, you know.
We're there then.
We're golden.
4 days in a row, they get to go to Wild Wing Cafe.
I tell you what, this ought to be fun. They get a good group down at Wild Wing. They get kind of rowdy and have some fun. So, you know, it's a chance to go and kind of interact and have these folks get involved in the show.
Of course, Wild Wing Cafe, and we're talking about it, it's at Barefoot Landing at 4706 Highway 17 South. Go on to their website, their menu, the Mucho Machos or the Mucho Munchos. I saw that on the menu, bud. We're going to have to order some of that.
Yeah,
The
they got about
Mucho
like
Munchos.
60,000 wing flavors. And
60,000?
will burn your face off. Some of them are good.
And they got the best blue cheese you ever put in your mouth.
Yes,
So,
it is pretty good.
You know,
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some giveaways. We're going to we may even give away a handshake with you. You'll be doing some autographs and stuff.
Oh my God! Where are my boots, Jeff? Go get my galoshes out of
Got to get the white gloves out.
Ooh, of course I'll be wearing my surgical gloves, so not to get any disease or transfer anything.
Germaphobe you are.
Have you cleaned those yet? No?
No,
okay,
I keep turning them inside out, outside in. So it's a recycle thing. You know what I mean?
Good.
Be sure to go to the website at www.wildwingcafe.com. That's Wild Wing Cafe at Barefoot Landing, and of course we'll be there coming up next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which will be the Masters.
The Masters.
We're there, bud.
Finally.
It's time.
Hey, you know the beauty of it is though. I get to be there on Sunday, and then I can just stumble across the parking lot to the House of Blues for the MAM stuff, so it'll all be great.
Perfect,
I don't have to worry about getting in trouble.
Well, okay.
You can have a sleeping bag or something there,
Yeah.
or just sit in the car. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's great.
Hey, just sleep in that truck.
That's awesome.
There you go. I'll leave you my truck. You can sleep in back there.
Blue.
I want to note, everyone, if you're watching us on TGD TV, you'll see that we are in the Nexus Fuel Studios. And I want to thank Nexus Fuel for sponsoring our studios here. You see the big banner right on the front here. Nexus Fuel Products, folks, is a fuel additive that you put into your boat, car, truck, 18-wheelers. And I put it into of course, the Godfather's lawnmower. I have the fastest John Deere in my subdivision now. That son of a gun will do 53 miles an hour in second gear. I could pop wheelies with a John Deere.
Now, that's just in case he has to go down the street to get to the emergency room. That's the only reason.
Oh, I'm chasing those mole crickets.
Yeah, get them.
I got to get Joe out to the yard, bud. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
I leave Crow Creek and then I go back home and see my yard. I just want to go up and slap it.
You cry. Yeah. Joe will have your yard rolling 8 by the time he's done.
Oh, I'd love it. All right, let's jump into a little bit of the majors. Now, interestingly, this week, and the reason we're kind of wrapping everything into one, and we're not even going to do a pro golf talk. There's not a reason to. We got 2 majors, literally one starting today at the Kraft Nabisco.
Yep.
And so the LPGA Tour is having their first major of 2014, and then, of course, next week, the Masters. So let's talk a little bit about the majors and what's going on. And a big topic of discussion over the media complexes over the last several days has been, of course, Monday, Tiger has back surgery. So thusly, he won't be at Augusta. He won't even show up at Augusta. My first question, panelist, should Tiger just make an appearance at Augusta, being a 4-time Masters champion?
Jimmy, please go ahead.
I think it would be very nice of him to show up, at least, put his hand to the flesh, so to speak, show up with the green jacket and hang out with the members a little bit. But, on the other hand, I could see how it'd be tough for him to be there without being able to compete.
Well, but I mean, here's again, does he have doctor's orders not to travel? Because even though it was, non-invasive surgery, is that given to him? And secondly, who cares if Tiger Woods is there? Is Tiger Woods going to make or break the Masters golf tournament? Is he going to make or break the reason why you watch this golf tournament?
No.
Maybe 100,000 people?
And don't go down that direction yet, because we're going to get into that.
We're going to get to that, I think.
We're going to get to that. So your point is it doesn't matter if he's there or not.
No, the man's injured. Let him heal.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Give him courtesy and the respect that he had to have back surgery for a pinched nerve, and that's the reason he couldn't play. And the doctors have probably said, you need to stay off your feet and relax and get healed. Do not travel.
Okay, I'll throw my comments in addition to what Jimmy said, in the fact that if he goes, he then becomes the marketing or the media
frenzy,
the blitz, the frenzy. It's going to be him that's going to be in that press tent. It's going to be him that's going to be interviewed. He won't be able to move anywhere unless somebody's taking a picture.
And it's going to it'll last about an hour and a half, and then he'll be gone. He'll leave. Period.
Yeah, well, that's true.
If he did it, he would be there to do the interviews, talk to them about what's going on, and then he will leave, and you will not see him.
Yeah. So I feel like he probably shouldn't be there because of the media side of it, in the fact that he would be the frenzy, he would be the target, he would be the focus, versus the Masters itself and the other players that are actually out there.
And then go ahead and play both sides of the story, George. I mean, go ahead and do it to where he would be the center of the frenzy thing. Tiger, you're injured, you had surgery, you're not playing, blah blah blah, and then look at it from the standpoint of the Masters and the other players and the lack of respect for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's play it to where he's doing the proper thing.
Okay, so let's go to the next component of this topic, in the fact that will the ratings be hurt for the Masters, this year's Masters, because Tiger is not there. Now, giving everybody an update in case you haven't heard or whatever, yesterday Phil Mickelson did play 9 holes at Augusta. And then he jumped on a private jet and flew out to Houston for the event at the Houston Open this week. So he is planning on teeing off this morning with Keegan Bradley, and they are going to go out and play. So Phil supposedly is back. He's ready to play. He's ready to form. He said he had some stiffness, but no pain. So let's just assume that Phil is going to play next week. Now, Tiger out of the mix. Is this going to have an effect on the ratings, on the people that watch, the millions and millions and millions of people that's going to tune in to see and hear the Masters? Is that going to affect the overall volume of numbers that they're going to see this year?
It may affect 100,000 people that love Tiger Woods. Other than that, no.
I don't see it affecting it that big, George. I mean, it's the best tournament, on the schedule all year, but I don't see it affecting, that many players. I mean, maybe your casual golfer who tunes in, 4 times a year to watch the majors, but I think, I think you said it last year, the star of the show is Augusta itself. So.
It's the golf course. Yeah. There's no doubt about
it. It's the mystique of the tournament. It's the legend.
The allure. Yep.
It's the whole thing. I mean, Tiger Woods does not make or break this golf tournament. You could take everybody from the Nationwide Tour, put them on here, and have them being invited and playing at Augusta, And people are going to watch.
I had someone bring up this point yesterday, and that was kind of my answer to them. You could hold the Masters and put the entire field of amateur golfers, and the ratings would still be through the roof because it's the Augusta. It's the golf course.
It's the Masters.
And so thusly, now if it was any other event, if it was any other major, then yes, I think it would be hurt. But again, it's Augusta. So people tune in just to see the grass, to see the flowers, to see the dogwoods, to see the, everybody going around in the southern bonnets and the gondolas and everything that's going on up at the clubhouse. My wife, for example, she'll walk by and, does she ask if Tiger's playing? No. She goes, who's in the lead? And then she goes, oh, look, they're showing 15 or they're showing 16. That's such a pretty hole.
Well, I'll lay you
Look
10
at
to
those
1.
azaleas.
I'll tell you this right now, and I'll bet you $100 to one of those Krispy Kreme donuts you went and got this morning, okay?
Gut bombs.
Here's the thing. You watch Augusta to, number one, see who wins, but most importantly, and number two, to see who chokes and who chokes the worst. That's why people watch this golf tournament.
Yep.
End of story.
On Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon,
Absolutely.
I was going to say.
See, because we love the game so much, and you guys are in the industry, I'm a lover. I watch it to see who chokes every day.
Well,
who's got the opening nerves? Who's going to top it off of number one?
Or who goes out and shoots 3 or 4 under on the front nine, goes to the back nine, and they can't hit themselves in the butt with a bass fiddle. I mean, that's the way it happens.
So
it's Augusta.
I enjoy it too in the fact that I've studied the greens, I've been at the greens, I've played on the greens, and so watching the pros go out there and play that golf course, and my visions of how I would play it or how the golf course is trying to bite back at them, that adds to the mystique for me, because again, it's been there since 1934. This tournament, this championship does not move anywhere else.
No, it's the same golf
the
course.
golf course is just there. It's just laid there. It said, "Come and get us." And every year, the golf course seems to prove itself.
And look at it.
You've got when Tiger won by 12. That's when at the time chairman Hootie he goes, "Whoa, we need to make some changes." And I think the members really drove that.
And they made
Absolutely.
changes,
And
and
Billy
you can't
Payne
tell
is-
they made them.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, look at Ike's tree. We've seen pictures now of the replaced tree, and it doesn't even look like it. There was anything happened.
Right.
It's amazing.
But I mean, you look at this golf tournament, and I mean, you look at Mr. Palmer, Mr. Player, Mr. Nicklaus, Mr. Hogan. All of them were the dominant players in their era, correct?
Yeah.
And they, and they got older and they faded, and all of a sudden they were just kind of the honorary thing, and they were there, and it was the new era of players coming up that became the Masters.
Right.
Well, the same. It's happening right here in front of us as we're watching it.
Right.
And everybody's making such a big deal about it. Tiger's getting older. He's injured. Phil's getting older. He's injured. Who are the new guys coming up?
Well, there's always going to be somebody, but now the focus is coming back on 2014 has been kind of another interesting year. Last year we had the weather issues and all that kind of led into the year. But this year it's the first-time winners. It's the guys of no names that are all of a sudden on Sunday, everybody else falls apart and they just happen to pop up. I mean, look at what happened Sunday.
I mean, Bo would shoot 76 and wins a golf tournament. I mean, what's that
4
tell you?
over par 76, and he wins.
But I'll tell you what, that guy goes out and wins the Masters next week. It's one of the greatest feel-good stories in the history of the game of golf.
Well, that's true. That's
you got
true.
a guy that was on the edge of dying, committing suicide, and all of a sudden now he's gone out and won a PGA event and goes and wins the Masters. It's the feel-good story of the season.
Well, it's just like last year when Adam won. Adam Scott was the best player to not have won a major. That was it.
Right.
It was him and Sergio and a couple of others. And now Adam's got that monkey off his back. So are we going to have another one this year? Are we going to have, and we'll get into that as we lay out our predictions.
But I mean, and that's what's laying out this whole thing for the golf tournament. It's laying it right out there in front of us. What can happen? Which road are they going to take and see who does what?
Well, it's, I think we break down the players. We could talk about it again. I'm real interested to see the golf course itself. Augusta, just like all the other southeastern states, has gone through a pretty severe wintertime. The rains, the ice, the sleet, the snow, the severe nighttime temperatures we've seen in the single digits on several different occasions. Our area golf courses, Crow Creek, for example, you've had to deal with. There's been a lot of attention made. Last month alone, you had 11 plus days that you just had socking rains. And so thusly that affected play. Likewise, Augusta has dealt with those same inclement conditions. We know the golf course is going to be spectacular. We know it's going to be absolute pure in its presentation. But what's lying underneath that ryegrass? Is it going to be softer? Are they going to be getting the rollout in the fairways? How are the greens going to play? Are they going to keep them slower on the front end and then speed them up during the weekend? So this, again, adds all to. And again, Augusta and Augusta National, they make their decisions. It's not the USGA. It's not the PGA. It's not the RNA that make the decisions on how the golf course is set up. And this is Augusta's National's decision.
Here's the beauty of it. They don't care. They're not like the USGA where they're going to put it out there, we're doing this and we're going. Augusta doesn't want you to know squat.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
They don't want you to know anything. And that's why it'll be, you say the golf course will be perfect. It might be a little soft. It might get harder as the week goes, but they're not going to let you know.
That's what's going to separate the guy wearing the green jacket at the end of the day, at the end of Sunday.
Exactly.
I agree. And it all boils down to, again, who plays the best under that pressure when they play the tournament as it's deemed to be in the final 9 holes on Sunday afternoon. Now, whether they're at the beginning group at that day or they're the last group, it doesn't really matter because it's going to depend on how they play with the nerves under the pressure of Sunday afternoon at Augusta. And most of that is going to be how that nervousness or how that confidence transfers into their hands in touch with that putter. It's just a matter of who rolls the rock.
Well, it is rolling the rock, but it's also being able to hit. You got to be able to hit iron shots to put it in the right place, George.
Yeah,
I mean, you can talk about the putter all you want, and you're correct in that statement. But if you can't put it in the right place on those greens, good luck.
I agree. I mean,
and that's part of the nerves too.
We've talked about this multiple times. Augusta is one of those rare places where you have to pick your either approach as far as being an aggressive, positive approach, or whether you're going to play defensive and target those quadrants of each green to be defensive and to just ensure that you at least can give it a good, solid 2-putt. Whether that be for a par or whether you just say, hey, I can get a bogey and get out of here and feel good.
And I agree with you, but I disagree with you from the standpoint of the defensive statement. I think it's more of, do you play smart and play fat too, or do you play aggressive at? And if you play aggressive at and you miss, get ready for the circumstances.
Okay, you're a first-time player going out, or even a second or third-time participant in the Masters. Do you go out on Thursday and play aggressive? Do you go out on Thursday and be offensive? Do you go out on Thursday and be, boisterous to the point of saying, I'm going to attack the pins? These are probably going to be the easiest pins that I'm going to see over 4 days.
If you want to go home on Friday afternoon, yeah, sure, go ahead. Okay. I mean, if you play Augusta, I don't care if you're a veteran. I don't care if you're a rookie. You go out and you play not conservative, but you play smart. You play to give yourself opportunities and take the stress out of it. You can go out there and make 18 pars and shoot even par, and you're going to be in the ball game, Hoss.
Yeah, you can't win the tournament on Thursday, but you sure can lose it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Great point.
Jimmy's dead right.
Great point.
You've got to go and play, and that's why, in teaching the kids nowadays, it's about learn to play fat too. So, I mean, fat of the green to the pin. Yep. If you hit it 25 feet, tough beans, 2-putt, make a 25-foot or a 2-putt, and go on and skip to the next tee and go. And that's the way they've got to play at Augusta. If you don't, you go shooting at certain pins on that golf course. How many times you see balls hit back in the water? Or hit and they roll across the green on 11 in the water.
Or hit a pin and jump back into the water.
And then you're taking the illegal drop.
And take a illegal drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, per the HD person that sat on the sofa and called it in to the trailer.
Yeah.
Get a life, folks.
You can look that up on last year's show. Anyway.
Yeah, please do. We're going to take a break here in a few minutes, but again, we're kind of wrapping up our roundtable and our coverage of the majors, of course, brought to you by the Wild Wing Cafe at Barefoot Landing. But we're going to continue this conversation at great length and further length to where we're actually going to get into the Kraft Nabisco and also the Masters real quick. Guys, in a few seconds response, which hole on Sunday afternoon is going to be the most pivotal as far as determining the champion? Which hole on the back nine? Let's narrow it down on the back nine that you think will be the most pivotal.
In a quick answer, I'm going to say 13. That's where it's going. That's the first par 5 on the back. I think that's either going to start your run or destroy you.
Okay. What do you think?
15.
Okay. I would have gone with either one of them. Yep. 15.
I think 11's the hardest hole on the back nine, even though you stated in the deal last week that 10's the hardest hole over the years of average.
That's right. Stroke average.
I think 11 is a very pivotal hole. But I think 15 is the one that starts the runs.
I would agree. And I would have picked 11 just simply because at that point they know they are entering Amen Corner. 11 will give up the most double bogeys as they start those first 5 holes on the back nine. And so thusly 11 could be the make or break. They could find themselves with a double bogey and now they're 4 shots behind the leaders.
Sure.
And then, they still have 13 to catch up. They still have 15 to catch up. 16, really not a planned birdie.
Got to hit it. Got to hit a good tee shot.
It depends on where they play the pin, though.
Yeah.
If they ever put the pin back right, it's game over.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Again, Hugh Royer, George Honeycutt, and Jimmy Biggs here on the Roundtable / coverage of the majors on thegolfdirector.com. Be sure to come back and join us.